So this is our final part of our practice, and I wanted you to see one of George Seurat's artworks again before we start to do our final step, which is not just blending colors and not just creating a value change, but putting those two together. So looking here at the tree trunk, do you notice that there's a value change, darker to lighter? Do you notice that there's a color change, blues and tans into whites and yellows? So George Seurat often would use both of those skills, blending colors and creating a value change, to make his work really, really beautiful. And that's where we're going to go for our final part of our practice. Please once again have your sketchbook. This time we're not going to use our red, but we are going to use our blue, our yellow, and our green. When you go to your Seurat sections of your big work, I want you to think about what is the main color you want to do, just like you did for the O'Keeffe and just like you did for the Van Gogh. Okay, so you're going to choose your main color and you're going to go get that with the smallest marker you can. So I've chosen a green for my leaf. Okay, and at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go in with little dots and we're going to cover this leaf with green dots for pointillism. Now you can create a value change in here, of course you can. So if I said I wanted the upper part of the leaf, the part that's closest to the origin of the stem up here, to be darker, then you would just go back in with the same color and add more and more and more and more dots. But I don't want that to just end, so then I'm going to very slowly back those dots away, spread them apart, and then as I get out to my tip, I'm going to use fewer and fewer dots. So here I've created a value change. However, that's only part of what George Seurat did. Okay, the other thing that he did is he went in with multiple colors to really enrich the look of his work. So that's where our darker and lighter colors are going to come in. Now I did caution you about not using the lighter tone after you'd had the darker tone. It probably won't matter, especially as infrequently as we're going to do it. So I'm going to say that my yellow is my lighter tone, and I'm going to come out here to my lighter area, and I'm going to speckle this with yellow dots. And then I'm not stopping. I'm not going to just randomly stop. Instead, I'm going to spread those out until there's fewer and fewer yellow dots and they just disappear. It's harder with the yellow being a light color to see this. You'll see it better when I add the darker value. Now I'm going to come in to this side and add my darker blue to really darken up that dark value, but I don't just stop. Instead, I'm going to start spreading those out further and further apart until they disappear. And now you can see we have a value change and a color change, and it's just absolutely beautiful. While we finish this bottom part together, I'm going to finish our story. So we're going to begin again with the green dots. So George Seurat, super happy, all the money he wanted, college educated. His paintings are being talked about. They're being hung in galleries. People in the general public like his work because it is soft, it's beautiful, it's realistic. It's not too crazy like Van Gogh stuff was a little bit inventive with the colors. This is just beautiful things. And so he was having popular, his work was popular, and he had the woman he loved and a beautiful son. However, everything comes to an end, right? This is the sad part. So George Seurat, when he was about 32, he ended up getting sick. Now, for us, modern medicine being what it is today, we would just take an antibiotic and he would have been fine and he would have kept going. He wouldn't be alive today because remember that's like 160 years ago. Okay, but he would have survived that sickness. However, medicine was not as well developed, and he ended up getting so sick that he died. And in fact, his wife also got sick, and she died. And a month later, their little boy came down with the same sickness, and he died. Everybody died. And that was the end of George Seurat. However, while he was alive, he invented this beautiful style, unique style of painting called Pointillism.